Hey guys, this is episode 2 of the Ramayana carved at the Prambanan temple in Indonesia. Here we can see this figure getting coronated as the new king. But is he Rama? No, they're making another son, Bharata, as the king instead of Rama. Why? Remember in one of the earlier carvings when the saint came and asked for Rama and his brother, these two wives were happy, but this woman was unhappy because they were not giving importance to her son. Now you can see the two other sons in the spotlight while Rama and his brother Lakshmana are missing from the scene. The mother of the new king asked the now old king for two promises. One, to coronate her son Bharata as the new king. Two, Rama must be exiled out of the kingdom and must remain in exile for 14 years. Why 14 years? Because in 14 years, her son would have completely become comfortable as a king and cannot get out of his comfort zone. Plus, her son would have already procreated and have his own children and would start to care for their future just like her. So here, Bharata becomes a new king as this priest is anointing him with holy water. On the right, you can see a strange celebration going on. There is dancing, there is vocals, they're playing instruments, but where is the happiness in their faces? Nobody in the kingdom is happy that Bharata was becoming the king and Rama was going into exile. You can see the anger oozing out of this dancer's face. In fact, she is dancing with a sword and shield, almost ready to go and fight against the government. And look at this woman nearby. You can see her chagrin, and near her there is a crown. Perhaps she had made a crown to present to Rama during the coronation, which is now lying in the dirt. The musicians as well seem very angry. And here you can see this man playing drums. 3 different pot-like drums. This is very similar to tabla because you can see the shape, how the strings are wrapped around, and you can see the little cushion at the bottom. Very similar, except that he uses 3 drums. And the drummer, instead of happily playing the drums, or being angry like the others, looks worriedly at his innocent son. The amount of meaning packed in this little area is extraordinary. His innocent son is confused and is thinking, why is my dad looking at me like that? But the father is probably thinking if his house and his assets will go to this child. He has multiple wives, just like most people did during ancient times. The drummer is questioning himself if he is a responsible father or if he is like Rama's father. Will his youthful desires affect the future of this innocent child? Nearby, look at this woman observing the father and son. She is one of the wives of the retiring king, and she understands the thoughts of this drummer very much. She is the mother of Lakshmana, and not only does Rama have to go into exile for 14 years, her son Lakshmana also has to go with him because of her husband's irresponsible act of marrying multiple wives. Next to her, you can see the other wife of the king. She is the mother of Rama, and you can see how sad she is. She is wiping her tears away. She is not only disappointed that her son could not become the king, she is terrified that her son and his newlywed wife have to go and live in a forest for 14 years. In front of her sits the old king. He is truly heartbroken and is at the verge of collapsing. He is having a full mental and physical breakdown. On the right, we can see Rama seated on a horse carriage, ready to go to the forest. On his right is his wife Sinta, and behind him is his loyal brother Lakshmana. Look at the horses. They don't want to go. They're not moving. They don't want Rama to go and suffer in the forest. There are two guys standing behind the horse cart and are pulling it. They don't want Rama to go. But look between the four wheels. There is a baby sitting on all fours protesting. The baby is sitting between the wheels and making sure Rama cannot go. Here, the sculptor is telling us that Rama was so loved, he never harmed anyone. He never spoke ill of anyone. He was ready to take the blame for others. And the entire kingdom, humans, animals, and even babies, absolutely loved that pure soul, and everyone was sad that he had to leave the kingdom. But Rama would never go against the words of his father, so he proceeds to go to the forest. Now, look carefully. What does this carving show? Observe the facial expressions of all these people. What is happening? On the right, you can see more figures, visibly unhappy. In the center, there is a weird device. There is a large conical structure. On top of it, there is a rectangular box, and you can see someone's head and his hands sticking out of that box. Who is he? This is the lifeless body of the old king. Yes, the king has died because he was heartbroken. As soon as Rama left the kingdom, the king's soul left his body as well. And the people around him are getting ready for his funeral. The setup for the cremation looks outlandish. A typical funeral pyre in India would just consist of a stack of firewood and the body placed in a supine lying position on top of it. Here, however, we can see a large device or a contraption similar to modern-day electric cremation furnaces. In India, we have these electric furnaces now. You can clearly see that it is a closed box, possibly a metal box, with just holes on top to show his head and hands. On the right, you can see his son, the new king Bharata, putting his hand inside the box and lighting a fire. You can see the flames here. I wonder what type of funeral contraption devices were used in Indonesia during ancient times. You can see that they have planted a few banana plants on either side, and they've decorated the box with banana leaves. This is the usual ritual in Hindu ceremonies. At least in his death, the old king seems to have a smile. He is relieved of all his sorrows, and he can finally smile. Below the cremation furnace, you can see a strange animal. It looks like a rat, but it seems to be unafraid of humans and is much bigger than a rat. What animal is that? This species is called the greater bandicoot rat. These are so large that cats are terrified of them, and these bandicoots are avid meat eaters. You can understand why the sculptor has carved this animal in the funeral grounds. This bandicoot rat is going to scavenge for scrap meat and is going to feed on it. Actually, it's doing just that already. See what's in front of it. On the right side, we can see a bunch of citizens, both men and women, sitting and looking at bags. Look at the dejection and despair in their eyes. Their favorite prince has left the kingdom, and their favorite king has left the world. These people have now packed their bags and are going to leave the kingdom because they cannot stand what's going on. So, what happens next after all the dust settles? Rama is exiled, his father is dead, and Bharata is set to become the king according to his mother's plan. That could be the end of the story. Probably that's how the story would end today. Everyone had a strong moral compass. So, what happens here? You can see there are two figures sitting on horses. In front of them, you can see these two figures, and this guy is turning back and has recognized these two horse riders. The figure on the right is Rama. Where is he now? He's walking in the forest. How do we know that? What does Rama usually have in his hands? Bow and arrow, right? But what does he have now? That's right, a flower. He has plucked a wild flower, and his other hand is shown empty because he is not a prince. He does not need his bow and arrow. He's living a much simpler life now. His assistant is smiling as he recognizes the two horse riders who have come to see them. Who are these two horsemen? It is Bharata and his younger brother. Bharata does not want to be the king. He never wanted to take the throne from Rama. This could be the alternate ending here. These two guys have come and are begging Rama to come back to the kingdom and take the throne. The assistant sees this as a possibility. He's tired of living in the forest already and wants to go back to the good life. But what happens next? Even after repeated requests from Bharata, Rama refuses to come. Rama is sitting on the right and Bharata is standing, pleading Rama to change his mind. But Rama has promised his father, and his father had promised his wife that Rama would be in exile for 14 years. So he insists that he cannot return before that. But Bharata is giving cold, hard cash, a big stack of money to Rama so he can survive in exile, right? No. Bharata says he will not become the king, and Rama says he won't come back. So who will sit on the throne? The shoes of Rama. Yes, Rama's shoes will be placed on the throne, and Bharata will only act as a servant of these shoes. Here, Bharata is taking the shoes, or rather sandals of Rama. You can see the strap here. Notice how both of them are shown with halos around their heads. In the previous scene, only Rama was shown with a halo around his head. Bharata did not have a halo. Notice that he was only human. Rama was always a superhuman because he came from the heaven as an avatar of Vishnu. But Bharata was merely human. He could have easily accepted Rama's no, gone back to the kingdom, and could have lived happily ever after. But he turned divine by being humble and submitting to dharma, or the moral compass. That's why he has reached an equal status with Rama here. Both of them have become equally divine. In future carvings, pay attention to the halo and try to find out why they appear, disappear, and reappear. In the next carving, we can see Rama again walking with a flower, enjoying the beauty of the forest without a care in the world. Why should he worry? He has his dutiful brother Lakshmana with him and his lovely wife Sinta walking in front. It's usually claimed that Indian men are dominant and they walk in front while the wife follows. Here you can see that it's not true. Sita is walking in the front. Rama even has his assistant walking behind him, who's shown with his neck pouch. Everyone is content and happy, but remember, nothing lasts forever. Immediately you can see that the situation has changed here. Sita, who was walking in front, is now hiding behind Rama as though she's afraid of something. Rama has thrown away the flower and has picked up the bow and arrow, while Lakshmana is in a ready-to-attack posture. What's going on? What is Sita afraid of? This demon called Virada. Unlike most other demons, Virada is not fat. He is quite fit. And despite his fangs, he looks quite handsome. All his ornaments, his crown, his armbands, his necklace, everything is adorned with human skulls, a testament to how many humans he has devoured. His matted, wavy hair is flying brilliantly because of the wind. And what does he want from them? Sita. He wants to take Sita, which is why Sita is hiding behind Rama. So, what is Rama going to do? Is he going to kill Virada? No. If Rama wants to kill this demon, he would aim for his heart or his belly. But see what Rama is doing. He puts the arrow on this demon's left arm. This is not going to kill the demon. Why is he doing this? Because Virada is actually a demigod or Gandharva trapped in the body of a demon. And as Rama's arrow hits him, he falls down to the ground. You can see three versions of Virada here. The first form is the arrogant Virada, laughing at Rama. The second form is almost on the ground, groaning in pain. And can you see the third form of Virada? It's actually this smaller figure rising out of the ground. This is the third form. You can easily mistake him for a saint or a young, innocent boy. This is the true form of the demigod, and he gets trapped in the demon's body because of a curse. And now he has transformed and has gotten back his real body. Look at this cat sneaking out from under this table. Imagine the trauma it had to go through watching the transformation of the demon who turned into this figure. The cat is in utter disbelief, and no one is going to believe him when he tells this story. What about you? Do you believe Ramayana is based on a real story? Or do you think it's pure fiction? Now, there is another important angle to this. Has Rama killed anyone in front of his wife? Think about it. Rama has been portrayed as a vampire slayer or a demon slayer, right? But after seeing Sita, has he killed anyone? More importantly, has he killed anyone in front of her? This is something for you to think about. When he was challenged by Parashurama, he shot the arrow into the heavens and took him into his aura. Here, he has only hit the demon in his arm, and then transformed him into a demigod. Will Rama ever kill someone in front of his wife? Will his wife respect him if she sees his brutal slayings? Okay, so here we have a very unique carving and nobody has explained this, and analyzing this will take us out of the current flow of Ramayana. So I have explained it in a members only video and I've already posted this on the members only section, because this is only for people who want a deep dive and who want inside access to this information. If you want that, please do join this inside access community and you will get deep dive videos. In this carving, you can see Rama sitting majestically on the left and a beautiful woman has approached him and is kneeling on the floor, offering him some gifts. We can see a long cylindrical bundle at the bottom, possibly silk clothes, and a small bundle, possibly gold or coins, along with some flowers on the top. Who is this beautiful woman and why is she trying to woo Rama? Her name is Shurpanaka. She is a demoness and she's enthralled by his good looks and wants to marry him. And you can say, demoness? She does not look like a demoness. She looks like a pretty human being, right? No, look behind this woman. This is the actual identity of Shurpanaka. She is intentionally shown as ugly and she shape-shifts into this figure to fool Rama. Interestingly, Shurpanaka is referred to as Sarpakanaka in Indonesia, which means a golden snake. It is commonly held in Java and other parts of Indonesia that Sarpakanaka is not human. She was a sarpa or a serpent who shape-shifted into desired forms. So what does Rama do after seeing such a pretty woman kneeling before him, begging him to marry her? He does not budge. You can see him looking at Sinta with love, who's shown standing at a distance. In fact, the demoness gives a fantastic idea to Rama to get rid of his wife. She reveals her true identity and she tells Rama that she can eat Sita so he can become single again, and then he would become free to travel with the demoness all over the beautiful forest. But Rama would never even look at another female other than his wife. Sita watches everything from a distance but does not even bother to come closer because she has complete confidence in Rama. He would never cheat on her. And she hears the entire conversation between Rama and Shurpanaka, but she is shown smiling, almost laughing at the stupidity of Shurpanaka. You can see the scornful look on Sita's face. More importantly, Rama would never be tempted by such baits of Maya or illusion. Think about it. If the roles were reversed, would Sita be tempted by Maya? Remember this. Now, Shurpanaka even tries to hook up with Rama's brother after Rama rejects her. She is truly infatuated by the looks of these two brothers. What happens after the demoness repeatedly tells Rama and his brother that she will eat Sita? Lakshmana cuts off the nose of the demoness and she runs away. This is an important scene, but this is not carved in this temple. Even though Shurpanaka clearly crosses a line and insults them, does she deserve her nose to be chopped off? It would be very hard to justify this act of harming an infatuated woman. This is probably why this scene was not carved. Perhaps Lakshmana felt guilty for chopping her nose off. He could have probably driven her away without physically harming her. You can see Lakshmana with a guilty face and Rama consoling his brother. But what's happening here? You can see Shurpanakha and her demon form kneeling before another figure, crying. And you can see that this person is visibly angry. Who is he? Why is she crying before him? This is Ravana. Yes, the antagonist, the main villain of this entire story. He is the king of all demons. And remember the very first carving of Ramayana? Remember how everyone went to the heaven and begged Vishnu to come to earth and save them from a cruel king? That cruel king is this guy, and he is the brother of Shurpanakha, who's sitting noseless and crying to him. What would you do if you were in Ravana's shoes? What would you do if your sister came to you with a chopped off nose? I will bet you any brother would react angrily and would want vengeance. So, what is Ravana going to do now? Will he go and fight with Rama and Lakshmana? No, he's hatching a very devious plan. Meanwhile, in the forest, Sita has spotted a brilliant golden deer and is absolutely enamored by it. She wants Rama to go and bring that elusive deer, which keeps moving further and further away. Rama is very suspicious of this golden deer. It not only seems elusive, but it also appears elusive. But Sinta is adamant, so Rama decides to leave his brother at home to protect his wife and starts to pursue this golden deer. And he enters a magic land of illusions. It appears to be a forest with plants and animals and a beautiful waterfall. But look carefully. Water is coming through these two pipes. This is an artificial forest created with Maya and filled with illusions. Look how this plant is growing out of a large rectangular pot. What about this tree? Yeah, it's not growing out of natural ground. What about this giant tree? It is definitely placed on an artificial base to deceive Rama. But why? Rama finally manages to hit the golden deer, and out of its body comes this demon, Maricha. Maricha, that name rings a bell, doesn't it? Yes, this is the same Maricha Rama forgave twice before. First, while killing Maricha's mother Tadaka, he hit him in his thigh and let him live. And then, when Maricha came to the hermitage with his brother to harass the saints, Rama killed his brother but used a special weapon to banish Maricha to a far-off place. But Maricha has now returned, this time in the guise of a beautiful golden deer ornamented with bells, adorned with precious stones, and has lured Rama far away from Sita. There is an important detail here. Look at the wound on the body of the deer. See how the cut mark is bigger than the arrow. Why? If you see the arrowhead, it will be much wider than the shaft of the arrow. So when the arrowhead pierces the body, it will make a bigger, wider cut mark. But in a human or even a real animal's body, the skin would be quite elastic and you would never be able to see such a large cut because the skin would immediately contract around the wound. See how the wound looks here. But this is an artificial deer made of gold with a not so elastic body. This is why such a wide cut matching the size of the arrowhead is shown on this body. Now, out of the deer's body comes the demon Maricha, wailing and crying for help. But how does he cry? He cries mimicking the voice of Rama. You see, this is an elaborate ruse. Something big is going to happen soon. Sita, who's sitting far away, hears Rama crying for help and gets rattled. She now wants Lakshmana to go and save her husband. There is a deep philosophical comparison between Rama and Sita going on. In the previous carvings, Rama was tested by Maya, the illusions and psychological traps. A beautiful woman came and offered herself to Rama along with a bunch of gold and precious gifts. She even offered to live with him and make him happy. But Rama was unswayed by all this Maya. He was immovable. But now, Maya is trying its hand on Sita. When Sita saw the illusory golden deer, she could not control her temptation. She forced Rama to pursue that deer. Now, when Maricha is mimicking the voice of Rama and crying for help, will she be able to control her emotions? Or will she again fall prey to Maya? Believe it or not, Sita does exactly that. She now wants Lakshmana to go and save her husband. Lakshmana has promised Rama that he would not leave Sita's side. Lakshmana is also confident that nobody can defeat Rama, and this was not Rama's real voice. But Sita insists that he must go and save Rama. When Lakshmana refuses to leave, Sita goes crazy and does something ugly. Sita becomes suspicious of Lakshmana, that he likes her and wants to take her as his wife. Let's go back to this carving. Remember this competition? Anyone who could lift this bow can get married to Sinta, right? And Lakshmana lifted the bow. Did he do it because he wanted to marry her? Sita doubts Lakshmana's intentions. Is this why he's not going to save Rama? Is this why he's letting Rama die so he can marry her after Rama's death? Lakshmana cannot take this kind of accusation. This is the basest and meanest accusation a woman can make to any brother-in-law. So, even though he has promised Rama that he would not leave Sita's side, he decides to go and get Rama. But Lakshmana has his own suspicions. He is afraid that Sita would not stay inside the house. She may wander and may get into trouble. So he puts a magic circle around her and tells her that she must not come out of the magic circle. In the Indian Ramayana, he draws a circle on the ground using his bow. But here you can see a band, a vertical magic circle placed around Sinta. And Sinta promises him that she will not go out of the magic circle, and Lakshmana now runs to find Rama. Look at the next series of carvings. There's absolute chaos. What is happening? Ravana, the demon king, has come and is abducting Sita. He's taking her by force. But how did he come all of a sudden and find Sita when she's all alone? There is elaborate planning and execution behind this abduction. Ravana spoke to Maricha and sent him in the guise of a golden deer to distract Rama. Then Maricha mimicked the voice of Rama and then lured Lakshmana away. So Ravana is timing this accurately and uses it as a perfect opportunity to take Sita away. But Sita was protected by a magic circle, remember? And as long as she stood within the magic circle, Ravana cannot touch her. So what does he do? He disguises himself as an old beggar and begs Sita to give some rice. When Sita extends her hand beyond the magic circle to give the rice, Ravana grabs her hand and pulls her out of the magic circle. Ravana is manhandling her and Sita is screaming for help. But her husband and her brother-in-law are far away. There is nobody to help Sita now, as she herself has sent away Rama and his brother. However, you can see a bird attacking Ravana. It's clawing and pecking on his head, which is almost putting Ravana off balance. The symbolism in this panel is just insane. A child is eating a banana and a monkey has come into the house and is growling at him. If you ever see a monkey this close, showing all his teeth snarling at you, you will never forget that experience. It happened to me once and is still etched in my mind. And you can see the fear, the absolute shock on the kid's face, and he just stands there frozen while the monkey is about to take the banana by force. But there is a subtle detail here which is truly mind-boggling. The kid thinks this is a wild monkey that has randomly entered his house. No, look, there is a rope tied around the monkey's waist. This is not a wild monkey. This is a trained monkey, and someone has sent the monkey to bully the kid. And who sent Ravana to kidnap Sita? It was Shurpanaka, the woman who had been scorned by Sita, her husband, and her brother-in-law. Remember the proverb, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned? This is the revenge of Shurpanaka for the scornful look she received from Sinta. And on the right, you can see another symbolism. Remember the giant bandicoot rat we saw earlier? Remember I told you even cats and dogs are scared to go near these monster bandicoot rats? Where did we see him? He appeared in the funeral ceremony of Rama's father underneath his funeral pyre. Now, you can see him again in this grave, inauspicious event. He is the symbol of ill luck. Maybe we'll see him again. But see how he has brazenly come into the house, knocked off a bag of rice, and is eating the rice right in front of this woman. Look at the woman. She's absolutely terrified of the animal because it looks almost like a big dog and is snarling at her. She cannot do anything about this intruder. Just like Sita cannot do anything about this intruder. He is going to take everything and he gives nothing back. So, what happens next? Will Rama come and save Sita now? Or will Ravana take Sita to his country? The next episode will be posted soon, so stay tuned. I am Praveen Mohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.